Shooting it raw?
Yes. Shooting it raw.
Photography for me, I've kind of used it as therapy during COVID. Um, I'll give you a little bit of background about myself. I'm a traditionally trained graphic designer that became an art director that moved on to motion graphics. Then I became an editor, and that's the majority of my career is doing television programming and corporate films, as well as live shows and that kind of thing. But during COVID, that kind of all dried up. So I had all this camera gear sitting around, as one does, and then I picked that up and I used that camera to satiate my wanderlust primarily, because we weren't traveling anywhere. So I I traveled around Hong Kong. There was astonishingly a load of places I hadn't been in Hong Kong. Having lived here for 30 plus years, I found that quite incredible that there was so much of the territory I hadn't explored. So yeah, I picked up the camera and I began to explore these places, and therein lies my beginning falling in love with photography. Basically, what does it mean to me? It's my therapy. Yeah.
Nice. Dickie, so is it Dickie Suzuki? That's your name?
So Dickie Suzuki is my moniker that I use for my photography.
Okay.
Dickie Fowler is my real name.
Okay.
That's what I use for my professional career. But photography, I try and keep it to Suzuki. My wife's
Okay.
Japanese. I have two sons. They're both Japanese. Hence the Suzuki part.
I love it. I love it. Okay, so Dickie Suzuki, thank you for joining me on the podcast. I don't know if you notice this or not, but the main sort of question is, if life really is a gift, how do we make every second count? I say to you, send me 4 photos, and that is going to kind of shape a journey or a roller coaster or whatever across your life. And by talking about your photos, we're going to learn, what's important to you, how you see the world, and it's always, it's always this really fun discovery because everybody sees the world differently. And as somebody who is a photographer, you have spent time thinking about how you see and how you communicate. And so I haven't looked at your photos. I know nothing about your art, but I can tell already that it's going to be good. So is life really a gift? Really? Can you make every second count? That's the whole point of the podcast. So if you like what you've seen and you're inspired, because that really is my mission, then please give it a like, subscribe, and share.
Shooting it raw?
Yes. Shooting it raw.